time.
There's full time. Yeah, Fulham 2, Liverpool 2. The full time whistle has gone. Klopp and Marco Silva embrace rueful looks on the face of the Liverpool coaching team there. They will know that is not the result that anyone wanted or expected. But Fulham have come with a game plan to their own gaff, and they've delivered it pretty well, all told. Liverpool will be massively disappointed with that. Some positives to take from the game, largely, of course, Darwin Núñez's introduction, scored a goal, made a goal as well. But yes, I mean, we left ourselves needing, with dwindling time, something magic to pull out. Henderson very nearly delivers right at the death. But look, if you're needing Jordan Henderson to score 25-yard screamers to win a game of football, then it probably says that your game's not gone to plan.
Yeah, too many players had off days. Fulham done a job on us, really. We got dragged into the level of their game, and listen, they more than deserved the point, and in the end, you know, it's a bit of a fortunate goal that gets us even back into it in the first place. Just too many under-par performances, really, from Liverpool's big players. You know, I don't think Trent played well, Virgil didn't really play well, Firmino didn't play well, Henderson didn't have a good game. You know, Liverpool look better when the subs come on, but there was just too many players underperformed, really. And like you say, it's the first game of the season, a lot can happen. But what I would say is, like, away to Fulham should be a banker, and for a number of reasons it wasn't. And like, excuse me, but the best players on the pitch were all wearing white. I thought, you know, Mitrovic really did a good job on us. I thought Robinson at left back had a really good game as well. So yeah, mate, in the end, like, a point was not a good result for us, but given the way we played, like, we could have lost that. Like, we in the end. You
mentioned the Villarreal game during commentary, and it had a real feel of that, where I don't know whether we just weren't expecting how Fulham approached that game. They were, particularly at the start of the half, they were aggressive, they were in our face, they were causing us problems. They never gave up as the game wore on. The penalty, ultimately the penalty kills us, because that's a point where we've gotten back in and we're in the ascendancy, and you're feeling like Liverpool could probably go and take the game on, but then you're left with, you then need 2 goals, which becomes a bigger ask as the game shortens down. But we are much better for, and it's mad to say, but Thiago going off is a real blow. I hope he's not out for any stretch of time. But we're much better with Henderson in the 6 and Milner in midfield,
and Elliott on the right,
and Elliott in there. And the Elliott thing in particular, we just had we had the bridgehead between midfield and attack that was completely lacking in the first half. And like the Villarreal game, which is why I'm drawing the comparison, we got the team selection wrong for that game, and we adjusted it early doors in that game to make us better in the second half. We just unfortunately left ourselves with too much to do, and as I say, once they get the extra goal, that's a huge ask, and then you're left to they've got every right to eke out every second of that, to fall to the deck, to take minutes out of the game, the old dark art of it. Liverpool are brilliant at doing that, and Fulham have done us ultimately.
Yeah, they deserve their points, and I say, if any team deserved to win, it was probably them, to be honest. They outplayed us in large part. Like, there's a little bit of hard lines to Liverpool, and a little bit of good fortune as well. So, you know, like, hard lines, maybe Henderson was far for the goal. The penalty's soft, but it probably is a penalty. But then, like I say, we get a bit of good fortune because Núñez's goal's a slight lucky. The Salah goal's slightly lucky. So you can't really argue too much there. Again, things go for and against you. But like I say, just too many players underperformed. You can't. Listen, it's a Premier League game, and if 3 or 4 of your players just under par, you're not going to get anything. Fulham played out of their skin. Fair play to them. You know, that was the game of their lives. Why wouldn't it be? You know, it's a free hit. You got Liverpool at home. Go and run your nuts off. You know, we'll play our way, and if it works, it works. If we get beat, no one expected anything anyway. And they more than battled it. And you know, in the first half, they upset us, and we didn't really react. Liverpool are usually quite good at adapting to those things, but we didn't start the second half well at all. It was actually the injury to Thiago that forces the substitution. He goes double there. We got a little bit better, but the penalty, you're right, that we were building up momentum because Núñez had a chance saved by the keeper, and then he scores, and then it feels like, here we go, we're going to go now. And then a bit of poor defending from both our centre halves, really, and the 2-1. We get the goal back, but it's just too little, too late. And if you're playing then you're right in saying that's when they slow the game down. They play well. Mitrovic, again, holding the ball up, wins throw-ins.
Perfect target.
And I got really annoyed that Liverpool falling into the trap at the end. Too many silly fouls, just giving them the throw-in that they wanted. And like I say, yeah.
And too many times when we're heading things, we're just heading it through the middle of the pitch, and they're eating alive. We lost so much in the middle area of the pitch there. Once we started to trust ourselves on on the ground, on the deck, you know, playing football, we were better for it. Again, get it to Harvey's feet, play it into Salah, play it into, you know, use Núñez as a bit more of a wall if you can. Again, Milner gave us that passing option through the lines that we totally lacked.
Milner and Elliott coming on, like I say, everything before that was wide, and it was just sloppy. The goal comes because we string passes together and we play like Liverpool. We went through the middle. It was just a poor game all round, really. And like I say, I'll be honest with you, mate, like that performance, you deserve to lose. You know, you deserve to lose if you play like that. And the draw in the end, again, it's worse for Fulham. Obviously, as a result, it's not. But in terms of how both teams played, they probably think, you know, we probably should have won that. But there was the break sometimes. Like I say, we've got Mo Salah to thank and a bit of Darwin Núñez. But yeah, Liverpool didn't play well, to be honest. And we were sitting there, we were just waiting for it to click. And we're so confident with this team that you just think, at some point it'll click. At some point it'll click. And they did for that goal. And you thought, here we go. And then this just completely killed again. So, and after that goal, I know we scored, but I don't think we really, like we went, it was still an even game. It was still very, very scrappy.
But this is the thing, by the time you get into the final 10 minutes of a football game, sure, they bring an extra centre-half on right at the end as well. They don't need to be ambitious anymore. We do have that one counter-attacking opportunity with Núñez, which just gets a little awkward and breaks down. But they, again, this is what we're at. I said this, we're integrating these lads. They're not perfect. I mean, and that's the thing I said about this game. It's annoying because people will look at it and go, it's Fulham are shite. But like, you've caught a team there who are at home, full of optimism, being able to play that style of football and actually have the personnel to do it, which upset Liverpool. They got the crowd on side as well and got it back with the penalty. It just stopped feeling like it was going to be Liverpool's day. We needed to be on it. We needed to be sharp today. And that's the really annoying thing is that Fulham have done well. I can't see how Fulham can't do that to other teams and gain points. But you're guaranteed they'll end up playing someone in 2 or 3 months' time when they've run out of steam or it's a bit harder.
Mitrovic has got a hamstring or a suspension,
and they won't be able to do that. And we've ended up playing them at the worst possible time you can play them. But I agree with the point largely. Liverpool should. You can't. It's basic analysis, and we could all just pack up and go home if we stick on this. But Liverpool should be beating Fulham because this is a team that was like second in the Premier League by a point last season, and this is a team who finished an entire division below them effectively. Scott Hawks with the super chat says too many poor performances. Darwin, Milner and Harvey were big improvements. Got to be better, though Fulham did well and Mitrovic is a force onwards, says Scott Hawks. Yeah, I agree with that. And we've got a few more super chats here. If you want to just get the stats queued up, Ste, we'll come to that in a second. We have got one here from Ran Rodriguez. He says, this is why we lose titles, always draw against teams like this. They just came up so embarrassing. I mean, I don't know. That feels like hyperbole, if I'm honest. But we don't always lose to teams like this. We tend to do really well against teams like this.
We've literally won against every time promoted team at the start of the season. It's just, yeah. We didn't play well. Yeah. We did not play well at all.
Yusuf with $5 saying, for those saying it's only the first game, just remember that multiple titles lost against City that were decided by one game against Fulham need a win. Yeah, I know. But again, it's the first game of the season. I agree. Look, we're all in this world where we feel like Liverpool need to win every game of football to win the title, and you might be right. We only lost 2 games last season and didn't win the league.
We're going to have to do one
when we lost it, we didn't win it in 18.
We're going to have to make up for that result by beating a better team. Like a draw against someone that would have been a good result is now you have to win. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing where you can get away with thinking, a draw at Chelsea's good, or a draw at whatever. Now you have to win it. You're gonna have to make these 2 points up somewhere else where you haven't. But yeah, like I say, it's a difficult one. We just didn't play well. I'll bring the stats up now. You just referenced some of them there. Like say, Liverpool had more of the ball, 65-35, but only 3 attempts on target. Obviously, it was the 2 goals plus the one that the goalkeeper saved from Núñez, and that's really not great. Fulham 2 shots on target, 2 goals, which kind of sums the game up as well. But the interesting one for me is the passes. Like Liverpool, again, 250. I would expect us probably to make more than that than they usually would. And even going further down to it, like I say, it was just we had 3 corners to their 1, but like we didn't really do anything from the corners. It just felt like we got dragged into a game that Fulham wanted to play. John was going to go to the other one very quickly, mate, so if you bear with me for a couple of seconds. It was the obviously the slightly different numbers, given them going to a different stats provider, but Liverpool long balls 40 of 76 times we tried to play long, and only 53% of them were accurate. We lost possession 196 times. Our pass accuracy was only 78. It was just...
Your pass accuracy can be bad, right? But what you've got to do is you've got to be aggressive in what you do once that's happened. So Virgil van Dijk's long passing was horrendous today. That's okay if you've then got people around Salah who are looking to pick up the scraps and start the counter press. But that the midfield, particularly in that first 60 minutes, did not work in that regard for us. And we didn't get loads better on that as the game went on. But our short passing game and our quick passing game did improve. But yeah, there's a lot of elements of Liverpool's game that were very, very undercooked. But
on the flip side, again, sometimes it's like, you know, we hit the post twice, we hit the bar and the woodwork, and it's just one of those, like, we didn't deserve. I'm not saying we were unlucky. We weren't. Liverpool did not deserve to win that game. But sometimes if you're playing crap, you might just really desperate for that slice of luck. We might have actually got it for the goals. We actually got. So maybe it has worked out that way. You know, yeah, we hit the post twice, but we scored 2 relatively fortunate goals. But yeah, what annoyed me most was that when things weren't working, we kept trying them to try and make them work rather than think of something else. And the second we thought of something else, which was to go direct through the middle, we scored.
Yeah.
And yet we never really did that again.
Yeah.
I don't know
it's just mad, isn't it? It's the hindsight of this whole game is you could sit here right now, having seen how the game's played out, and you say, okay, you start Henderson in the 6, Thiago and Harvey as the midfield, and you start Nunes instead of Bobby Firmino. But we've seen it because we now know. And that would have been a team that probably would have handled that whole game a lot better. And I was being disrespectful to James Milner, actually, because James Milner was probably one of the best players.
Probably was our best player. Yeah.
But it was what it was. I mean, Liverpool have been done by Fulham. A positive football playing aggressive team on their own ground. I don't know. It is what it is. There's no way where I can sit here and go, that's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. We want Liverpool to win every game of football possible, and it feels undercooked. It's too early in the season to be making any cast iron judgments on this, is what I ultimately say.
Yeah, just judging that performance, Paul, Liverpool just didn't play well. And that's fine. Yeah. No, it's not fine. That's what happened. Too many players were undercooked, and like I say, I've repeated again, the point, maybe fortunate. I think that's how you say maybe fortunate.
Yeah, and again, on another day, we said this before, you said about 2 shots on goal, two goals from Fulham. You know, on target. They scored a penalty, which, you know, Mitrovic has gone past Virgil van Dijk. He's the best defender in the world up against Mitrovic. People have got opinions on Mitrovic. That's the thing that happened. And and you know, you made mention of it. I don't want to come across like a fucking cry-arson about it, but there's a world where Jordan Henderson gets a free kick in the build to their goal, and they get nowhere near our goal as a result.
And that pen isn't given.
Yeah, and they've had a couple of moments where they fired the ball across the box similar to us. We had much more dangerous moments ultimately in the game, and we created more clear cuts. I would think. Can you get the XG up actually on the? I think that's on SofaScore.
Yeah, just give me a couple of moments to use that.
Eisen Ivanov, welcome as a first team, has just joined us. We're going to be doing after this, if you're on YouTube, I'm going to be doing your reactions to the game. So if you're a YouTube member, you can use the live chat. If you're a club legend, you can use the Discord, or you can tweet us at the Redmen TV. There'll be a tweet out there now which you can react to. Steve will be doing player ratings, and then we'll be back over on Plus for instant match reaction, where we'll have a little time to soak it all up, revisit it a bit, and then we'll be doing 20 odd minutes, just really kind of delving into it a bit more depth and detail.
I'll bring the info goal maps up first, and for those who are watching along, like Fulham have none really. It's the penalties, the big circle in the middle. Liverpool do have better chances, like right in the middle of the goal. They score from 2 of them. That other one there that I've just highlighted is Darwin Núñez at the front post, and then obviously at the back post they had Darwin Núñez again. So it's like that's the positive for me, is that Núñez was there to get on the end of them. But
is that the back post one? Is that the one that he nods down? Do we think?
I think so, yeah, maybe. But it was like I say, it was just one of those games, Paul. It was.
But that's what I mean. Like, again, look, this is the thing. There's the emotion of the game, and then there's when you just have a look at it, and that's us taking 30 seconds to have a little quick look through it. Doesn't change anything. Doesn't make Liverpool have won more points by any stretch. But I suspect Liverpool, we can all sit here and say Liverpool played crap today. Yeah. And Liverpool were the agents of their own demise. And yet in that game, we still created enough good opportunities to comfortably win the football game. So it could be a lot worse, is what I'm saying. If anyone wants a glass half full mentality, I know it's probably a bit early for a bit of that. Let's go and all have a little think on it. Get your reactions coming. Stay with us on YouTube if you're here right now after the fact, and go and check it out, of course, as well. Loads more to come from us. Chloe will be doing a match reaction from Craven Cottage. We're going to get her thoughts on that. That'll be on the YouTube channel shortly as well. But yeah, come and join me in about 5 or 6 minutes time. We'll be here with your reactions, then player ratings, and then join us over on Redmen Plus for instant match reaction. Disappointing start to the season, but it is what it is, and we'll try and pick it apart and find some answers. See you in a bit. Ta-ra.
Get yourself signed up for Redmen Plus today. Go to redmenplus.com. There is loads of benefits other than the incredible content that we produce week in, week out on the team that we all support. You can get 20% off merchandise. You can get access to a Discord server where it's Liverpool 24/7, 365. Get over there, redmenplus.com.